you could join us for this session and talk about the psychological impact of branding on consumer decisions. I'm Fatin Abdelhadi, and I'll be moderating this session with my classmates Mariam Hussein and Batul Ashur.
Thank you so much, Fatin. I'm happy to be here. Shall we begin?
Yes.
Because there's 30 minutes, and with the 6 questions, I have around 3 minutes per question. I think this is your professor.
Yes, we have short time.
Yeah. Let me just reply to her. Thank you. All right, so let me just start with my share screen. All right, and let's begin. All right, so we are talking about the psychological impact of branding on consumer decisions. Okay, and before I begin, of course, I would like to invite everyone to donate to the Royal Humanitarian Foundation for Palestine. Okay, now let me start going forward. So, all right, so Fatin, would you like to ask the question and then I reply?
Yes. Okay, so we know that there's a psychological factor that plays a role in brand consumptions. Give us a few examples of strong ways brands have impacted our behavior.
All right, so there are I'll talk about just 3 ways in which I feel like brands have made such an impact on your lifestyle and on society that you don't even realize it. For example, the first one is that we wear logos. At least let's say I don't wear them, but a lot of people do. So when you have a brand on a billboard, right, outside, you see the brand being displayed. So now you know that this brand has paid a lot of money to be on this billboard, correct? So maybe like they're paying like thousands of dinars per month. And then we as consumers, we will go and we will purchase a Louis Vuitton bag for 600 BD that is just filled with the Louis Vuitton logo, correct? So now when brands are paying a medium to be on it, to advertise themselves, why would you pay a brand to carry and display their logo all the time? The brand should be paying you. Am I making sense? You are paying 600 BD for a bag that has got their logo all over the bag. Every time you carry that bag, you are advertising Louis Vuitton. And they have the ugliest colors and the ugliest designs, but the way they have psychologically tricked you into thinking that when you carry their bag, it's a status symbol. And I think some of you are like smiling because I think some of you have Louis Vuitton bags. So it's a status symbol, and you think that, oh, it's amazing to carry this. So the next time you think about wearing a logo, think about that why is the brand not paying you? Why are you paying to wear the brand's logo? And if you go into my fashion and style blog, the silverkickdiaries.com, this is literally my first post that says that why do people wear brands? And I see it a lot in this region, by the way. It's not in a lot of other regions. It's in this region. Aigner necklace, Chanel earrings, the Chanel logo. Those brands should really be paying you because now you have become a human billboard. The second one, the way in which brands have really impacted us, is where brand names have actually become the product names. So we don't say, give me a tissue. In this region, especially, we say, Atni Kleenex. Correct? So because you're so used to, you think Kleenex is tissue, but that's not the generic product name. That's the brand name, Kleenex. So there are many examples of this. Like, for example, in India, if you don't say, I need to get a photocopy done, you will say, I need Xerox. Xerox is the name of the brand that photocopies. It's not a photocopy. So places where brand names have replaced product names shows how strong that brand has become. In your mind, you think that that brand is the product itself. And the last one that I want to speak about is the entire marketing scam of diamond engagement rings. And the thing that I've realized is that a lot of people don't know this. There's a company in America called De Beers. They really wanted to increase the sale of their diamonds. What they did is they created a marketing campaign in which they said that a man is more of a man when he can give his fiance or his girlfriend the most expensive diamond ring for her engagement. This was not a practice before. Only some men would actually give a diamond ring or even a ring when they got engaged. But De Beers marketing campaign was so impactful and so widespread that this actually became, now it's a societal thing. And the funny thing is, it's not only in America, it has spread everywhere in the world. Why? Have you ever thought, why do we give diamond rings? Why not a sapphire ring? Why not a ruby ring? It's because of a marketing campaign. So it is the biggest marketing scam in the world, where one company has really profited from an amazing marketing campaign. So this is how brands really have impacted us psychologically, that we have started changing our lifestyle and our society rules according to what they wanted us to do. We'll go on to the next question. Shall we move on to the next question, Fatin? Oh, my phone on side.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Mariam? I don't think she's here. Okay. A brand needs to have personality.
A brand needs to have a personality to stand out for others. In what ways can a brand influence customer, in your opinion?
All right. So there are a few ways, especially because you're visual design students, that I can talk about, in which a brand really can make an impact, that you can think about doing it. The first way is through visual design. So through the use of color, for example, Talabat and their orange, or you can think about local BH and the way they use their color of yellow in everything. So choosing one color or a few colors and really sticking to them, this helps your consumer always know that this is your brand. Even then, if that color is somewhere else, so even if I showed you this orange, this bright orange somewhere else, you will remember Talabat. So you'll be like, oh yeah, that's such a Talabat orange. So color is one way of doing it. The typography is another way of doing it. Typography means, of course, your fonts. So for example, the Vogue font, which is also used for Nirvana and a few other brands. This has become it's become famous because the brand has used it so much all the time that you know that, okay, when you see this font, you will know that, okay, this is Vogue. So for example, the Coca-Cola name, if any other name was written in that font, you will be reminded of Coca-Cola. And another way, of course, is through imagery and graphics design. So for example, luxury brands like Dior, they do their ads in such a way that it's always just one model off to a side and their logo on it. That's it. Extreme minimalism, just one model. And it doesn't say this skirt is made out of this material. It doesn't say this top is this is from our fall winter collection. No, it's just this model and the logo. So always remember that whenever you want it to be a very elegant or luxury brand, or you want to put it in your customer's head that we are a luxury brand, minimalism. You will have your font in a very small way displayed in the center, because that shows the super confidence of that brand, that, oh, we are so confident that we don't need to give you any more details. You will find out by yourself. So this is a few ways through visual design that you can impact your customer psychology. The other way is storytelling. Storytelling is a very strong way because humans love listening to stories. So when a brand starts to talk about stories, such as like, okay, if you incorporate or purchase us, then you will have more adventure in your life. Or if you use us, you will become closer to your family. Or if you use us, you will find the love of your life. So these things, they really impact our emotions. They hook our emotions. And that's why we then get hooked onto the brand. So brand can really use storytelling. I highly recommend using storytelling for really impacting your audience. If you think there's something wrong with your brand, why aren't people making a connection to it, then it's probably because you are not using storytelling. And of course, the third way is through social influence.
Do you think if the brand affects our life and affects the way we buy things, we can say it's a successful brand?
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what I spoke about in the first slide, Mariam, that a brand impacts us so much that we start to use the brand name as the generic product name. We start to display the logos because we are so proud of the brand that you want to show people, oh, I am associated with this brand. So yes, absolutely, brands do impact us so much. They impact us so much that we have different things changing in our society. So another example that I can give you very quickly of that is, you've seen Santa Claus, right? Everyone knows who Santa Claus is, correct?
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
is Santa Claus red and white? Did anyone think of this? Why doesn't Santa Claus wear other colors? It's because Coca-Cola did a marketing campaign, and in Coca-Cola, their Santa Claus was red and white.
Yes.
Since then, Santa Claus has become red and white. So this is how much a brand really, really impacts you. That the way you are living your life, you might not realize it, but there are some things that it's because a brand has done marketing very cleverly, or it's just widespread marketing. And the last one, of course, is social influence or word of mouth. I think the bottom picture says it all. So guys, do you know what this is? The bottom picture with the bougainvillea. No, really? This is Coco's restaurant in Block 338, Adliya. Coco's restaurant is a very, Fatin?
Yes.
Now you realize it. Coco's restaurant is a very good example of word of mouth because they don't even have a signage. As a marketer, it really, really bothers me. And like, even as a human being, it just bothers me because I'm like, where is the sign? At least let me know where's your restaurant. But this is how confident they are. They know that you will tell me, as your friend, Fatin, you will tell me, oh no, it's here, Shabana. I know it's here. Let's go. So that's how strong their brand is. They don't do any marketing. Look at their Instagram. They don't do anything. On the bottom left, I have given you an example of Dove because Dove does storytelling very well. And they always hook into societal issues, social issues. They do storytelling really, really well. Let's move on to the next one.
Yes, every company need a brand identity. What exactly is a brand identity and why is it important?
Thank you, Batul. So a brand identity is extremely important for you to stand out in the market. Otherwise, especially now, there is so much clutter. There are so many brands, so many homogeneous brands of the same product and service. So you need a brand identity to really, really stand apart. A brand identity makes your brand have a brand personality, and this is very important. So the first way you do that is that you define who your brand is. An easy way for you to do this is think of your brand as a person. Think of your brand as a person. Think, if they were a person, would they be a boy or a girl? What age would they be? What do they like? How would they function in life? What are their values? As humans, we all have values, sah? So I
I
might
like your imagination.
No, it's not about imagination. You need to do this because humans, we connect with humans, right?
Right.
So if there is a brand that feels dead, has no emotions, then we are not going to connect with it. We're going to be like, ugh, this does not make me this does not pull on my heartstrings. Everything is about the heart in the
Yeah.
end. As human beings, everything is about the heart. Yes, logically you will think, yeah, the price is good, the quality is good, oh, but this other brand, the way they make me feel, I really like that. Or you will go into a shop and the customer service guys will make you feel like a queen, and you will go back over there. Humans do business with humans, not with a faceless robot. So that's why, think of a brand as a person. Use your imagination and completely think, what are their values? Do they believe in honesty? Do they believe in sincerity? Do they believe in compassionate and kindness? Do they believe in being fast? When you start to do this, you start to create a brand personality. It's the same as a human personality. You need to define them as a human. The second one is that you really need to define it so that you want it to be apart from everyone else. So of course, in this part, all of your visual design comes, all your typography, everything that I said in slide 2, you will apply over here. So I have given you an example down. If you notice the icons down, I think all of you will be able to very easily tell me which brand these icons are from. Tell me.
Google.
Yes, it's Google. Well, how do you know it's Google?
The colors.
Yeah, and what else? What else other than the colors? The style. Google has this style in which it's got this overlapping thing, and this, when it overlaps, it's red in the corners. So this is how you make a brand stand out. You've made your brand identity so strong that when I put anything, you will know, this is Google. So this is why every company needs a brand identity. And what exactly is a brand identity? I'm not going to get into brand guidelines. Brand guidelines is basically a manual in which you have just written everything down. Whatever you're doing for your brand, you just write it all down. What are the values, vision, mission, everything. I cannot get more into it, but because of limited time, so let's move on to the next one. Everyone's good?
Yes.
Any questions? I'll keep the questions to the end. I will give you some time to ask. All right.
Okay. How does brand perception differ from brand identity, and why is it important for brands to understand both?
So the difference between brand identity and brand perception is this. Brand identity is, if I have the brand, then I say, oh, my brand is like this. It is very honest. It is very sincere. It is very blah, 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 blah. But you, the customer, what do you think about my brand? That is brand perception. So when I am saying my brand is really honest, but then I do something to rip you off. If I say something, oh, my brand, this product will not break. You purchased it and broke. Okay. So then now what's your perception? I'm saying my brand is very honest. In your mind, you will say this brand is a thief. This brand is extremely dishonest. So I, as a brand owner or a marketer, should know what is the perception of the brand. So this is the difference, that sometimes there's a huge disconnect where people, they think that, oh, their brand is this, but they have not realized that, oh, what their customer thinks is something else. And also sometimes brands don't care. It's very important for brands or for you to care about what is the actual brand perception in the market. That's why I've given this line by David Ogilvy that says that the customer is not a moron, she's your wife. That, don't think that your customers are idiots, because if you start doing that, your brand is going to go down the drain. All right, this is clear. Move on to the next one.
Maria?
What steps on companies take to manage and control brand perception?
Thank you, Mariam. So what you really need to do is you need to get into brand positioning. So this over here, I've just put a little infographic, or I don't know what to call it, a sketch about, I thought this was a good one, about brand positioning. It's basically where you very proactively think about how you want your brand to be perceived in the mind of the customer. Yes, okay, I made a brand. I created a brand with all of these values and characteristics and this personality. But then you also think, how does the customer think about my brand? How do I want them to think about my brand? And then you position your brand. Positioning means that you are thinking, okay, is my brand a very cheap brand? Is my brand somewhere in the middle? Is my brand extremely high-end, luxury? How do I want it to be positioned? Is it a niche brand? Do I want it available for everybody? So you have to think about all of these things. You can see in this infographic that, okay, you identify your competitors, think about how much market share you want, think about your positioning, like you are the largest, cheapest, fastest, what I just said. All of these things, you create it in a way, and then using all of this, you will use this in all of your communications, not just in your advertising, marketing, and all your communications. So once you have this, it makes your brand, once you have your brand identity, then you're going to think about brand positioning. And of course, one very important thing, which is on the bottom left of this infographic is it says, look for market gaps and develop a unique selling proposition. A lot of brands, I feel over here, they don't realize this. For example, somebody will open a coffee shop and I'll ask them, okay, what's your unique selling proposition? What is unique about your coffee shop? And they're like, I don't know, we sell coffee. You cannot have that. Then you don't have a personality. Your brand's not being identified. You need to have a USP, a unique selling proposition. This will help your brand stand out. The other way that you can really control or get to know brand perception is through feedback. Get feedback. Make feedback forms. Find out even through talking. Find out, talk to your friends, talk to your family and friends and ask them, what do you think about this brand? What do you think about this brand? What do you think about my brand? When I say you can make Google Forms like the one that you guys sent out for this seminar, you can make Google Forms and send it out to whoever, let it move on to as many people. Tell them, please fill in this feedback. It's also called a feedback form. This is very important because you get feedback from people. Now, of course, this is a small way of a small business doing this. Really, really large businesses, they employ really large research firms. I forgot, I think AC Nielsen, that's the name of a very big research firm. They employ very big research firms to find out what is the brand perception. And then they get to know, oh, this is how the brand is being perceived, or we are not selling because of this issue. And then they try to solve that issue. So these are the two things. You do brand positioning and you get feedback about your brand to manage and control brand perception. All right, I think we're doing well for time. I'll move on to the next one.
Mike.
Sorry. What creating a brand identity, it's important to avoid common mistake. What's the now
Number one
mistake brand make trying to presentation themselves?
So what's the number one mistake brands make trying to position themselves? And this is why I put this meme over here, that you can't make everyone happy. You're not Nutella. All right. Brands sometimes the main mistake that they make is they try to make everyone happy. Trying to make everyone happy, one, is impossible. And second, what happens is then you start to lose yourself. You are no longer a unique brand, because now you're catering for everybody. You have to understand that you have a target audience, you have a niche. Every brand has a niche, whether they want to admit it or not. And these people will love it. There will be people who hate your brand and hate your service. That's fine. You will not sell to everybody. So this is the main thing that most brands make a mistake of. And when they do this, then you will see their marketing and communications and even their visual design is everything. It's all over the place. There's too many elements in it. They're trying to cater to all of the classes. They're trying to cater to all of the people, all of the different generations. So then you will start to feel that the brand themselves are confusing, and the brand will start to slowly lose its personality and brand identity. So this was the last question. What are your questions? What questions do you have?
Shabana, in your opinion, if I want to open a brand, how can I choose my audience or target audience?
You have to you're going about the wrong way by thinking of your target audience first. Don't think about your target audience first. You have to think about your brand first. So first of all, when you're going to start a brand by yourself, the main question that you need to ask is why. Ask yourself, why are you starting this brand? Write down WHY on a big piece of paper and ask yourself, why am I starting this brand? And then you will find out it's because you want to solve a problem that your customer has. And if you don't want to solve a problem that your customer has, your brand is going to fail. Every brand needs to solve a problem that the customer has. So that's the answer to your why. So if I can give you an example, I'm going to give you an example of Shein, which is a horrible, horrible brand that exploits children and is fast fashion, but I'm still going to give you this example. So Shein's why could be that they want to make clothes accessible for everyone at a very low price point. Fashionable clothes at a very, very low price point, right? So this is a problem of the customer that the brand is solving. Or if we talk about, let's say, coffee. So if there is a local brand in Bahrain that's roasting coffee, the problem that they want to solve is that people don't get fresh roasted coffee, this high quality roasted coffee in Bahrain. So now you have the solution. Automatically now you will know who is your target audience. Who is your target audience? It's the people who have these problems. So if you are thinking about an abaya brand, which 50% of the Bahraini women I talk to think about is either abayas or cupcakes. So if you're thinking about an abaya brand, you again need to set yourself apart. There are so many abaya brands. So if you think about this, you need to understand, okay, what's the problem that I'm trying to solve? If you're just going to be another abaya brand at the same price point, same quality, same designs, you will get lost. I hope that answers your question, Mariam.
Yes, it did. Thank you.
Anyone else? What questions do you have? We are perfectly on time, but if anyone else has any question.
There are some questions in the chat.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm extremely not used to Zoom.
Shall I read them for you?
Please, please.
What are the biggest challenges that you are faced with in this field, and how do you overcome them?
Now I see them. What are the biggest challenges that I am faced with in this field? So some of the challenges that I feel like I've been faced with is, which any creative will tell you, is that people think that creativity can be done on the spot or that creativity is fast. All right. So there, I think really putting your foot down and making your customers understand that creativity takes time. Let me make this very, very simple for you guys to understand, because you are a design student. If I told you, I need a very nice artwork for social media, okay, which shows the product and it has this and it has this and it has this. And then you tell me, okay, when do you need this artwork? And I tell you, yesterday. Ladies and guys, get ready. You will get this from your people, from your bosses. They will tell you, when do you need this? Yesterday. So you have to make it very, very clear to people that if you want me to make a really good design, it takes time. Creativity and quality takes time. Second thing is, you cannot stress me out. If you stress me out, I am not creative anymore. Do you guys resonate with this? Am I making sense? If I stressed you out, thank you. If I stressed you out, you will not be creative. And I say all of this in my book, by the way. I have a book called Loving Yourself in Style. So I talk about all of this, creativity and relaxation and all of these things. Now, the next one is, how can you determine the success of your brand? You can determine the success of your brand when you have started selling your products and your services, and you feel like it is going to the right target audience. And not just that, that target audience is extremely happy. We have a word in marketing or branding which we call delight. When your customers have reached this level of delight, not just satisfaction, they reach a level of delight. They are delighted with the brand. I'm sure some of you have brands in your head. When I say the word, that you are delighted with this brand, you love this brand so much, so that you keep coming back more and more, and every time you go, you feel even more delighted. This is how you will determine the success of your brand. When your customers, the ones that you wanted to buy your brand, are delighted, they will leave you good reviews and testimonials and all of these things. I think I answered your question. Thank you, Dr. Sama. All right, guys. Anything else? Mariam, your mic.
No, our questions are good. We just want to say thank you to have you in this session. We are so enjoyable to have you here.
You're most welcome. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you so much for taking the time
Thank you,
and
Sahara.
effort to make this. And it was great meeting you today. And I hope we have more chances to meet in the future.
Same here. Thank you, Fatin. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you so much.